Deal, Pickles. What's poppy hopping? All right, man. You already know what it is. It's the initiates here with another video discussing the transits, discussing the charts, and keeping it current. Hopefully, we can, help y'all out. Maybe read some charts, or see how things go. But before we get into that, man, let's introduce the co-host to the show. Introduce their names and a little short introduction, what they want to share with the people to get this party started off correctly. Get filled.
Sacred Serpent, Sacred Dark Serpent, flameonshop.com. We got a new book bundle in effect with the Moonday, Spell of Fiat and Journey to the Being, 3 for 33.33. It's a steal as far as I'm concerned, but it is located on both sites, moondaymystic.com and flameonshop.com. Um, yeah, continuing to put some stuff together. Glad we get to get back to the grind with the brothers, and yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. We got some nice
Pause, man. Pause, man.
reconnaissance going on. Pause.
Pause, man.
What I say? What
we,
I say? I ain't
we
catch it.
on we on the grind. Like
Oh,
Hey,
oh,
yo.
my gosh, my gosh. You right. You right. You are so right. Certain words we cannot say no more.
just joking, man.
It's good banter. It's good banter.
Yes, sir. But before we
Yeah.
get into the get into it, man, let's get over with the infomercial as people come into the chat and good practice and letting people know might be interested in your goods and services. You know what I mean? I'm gonna
Yes,
just
sir.
try to throw my little overlay and bring up some websites. Who going first?
Whichever one you go to.
All right, I like that. You see it? You see it? Not the pop up. The path. What's the path, brother man? Elucidate me. Nah, I mean,
so
tell me about this.
So, yeah, I decided to put the book bundle together because the book bundle is doing pretty well. So, Moon Day has been fantastic, flying off the shelves. Spirit told me that it was only right to put the three of these together. Thanks to my brother, it was an easy fix. I figured why not? 33 bucks for three books, and you're going to get a wealth of insight, and that is a very short windfall. So your return on investment will be exponential. Um, we're not pulling no punches with these ebooks. We putting all of our shit into it. You know what I'm saying? It means something. So we just wanted to share that to the folks. You know what I'm saying? And for 33.33, I don't think you can beat it. What say you, Breeze?
Yeah, no, I agree. All of these are tools to help you in your spiritual development. Um, yeah, check them out. I mean, like the big homie always said, you will spend 55 on the A for loud. You know what I mean? Why
Uh-huh.
not? You got 33 bucks, get you three books, and you got access to us through the Discord. The Discord ain't no fee on the Discord. You can ask as many questions as you want. Especially for me, shit, I don't be doing nothing. Work,
That's a
gym,
fact.
so um, you know, yeah, we're a resource.
Mhm. Got a freshie boy link in the description for the Discord. So if you so happen to hit the link, it don't work. That happens. I don't know why it happens, but make sure you DM me, comment on the video. I'll give you a freshie boy link. Make sure y'all join the Discord, and be active in the Discord and check out the Moon Day bundle. What is that? The path, the spirit, and the moon. So Included within that bundle, you get the Moonday Practical Approach to Astrology. You get Journey to the Being, which is just an all-encompassing book and basically every spiritual system out known to man, no cap, and then a spell of fiat, giving you the basic rundown of money into the future of money, i.e., cryptocurrency and things of that nature. So, if you want to have a solidified library of spiritual books for your bookshelf, tap in, tap in, tap in. I put the link in the description. I also put the link in the chat. You know what I mean? Christmas is coming up. You know what I'm saying? I know it's June, but Christmas will be here in no time. So think about Christmas now and get the motherfucking books. You feel me?
Nah, Shay.
I shaded that.
But real quick before we get into the build, my man said, my man said the Ironheart series sucks.
I saw that.
What?
I saw that.
um,
I saw that.
but man, check out the site, whiterabbitsite.com. 25% off, ending at 12 o'clock midnight. So make sure you place your order before then. Your latest and greatest in fruit, nootropics, and treats. Got your manuals, got your checklist so you can be prepared, whether you want to macrodose or you want to figure out how to microdose and get the most out of your psychedelic experience is what we about. Sign up to our weekly newsletter for weekly promos, discounts. We've been doing events, so you'll get the heads up on those things as well. So, with all of that being said, appreciate everybody's support and everybody's feeding in and tapping in and all of that good stuff. But in reference to what everybody want to know, man, does Ironheart suck? I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really specifically speak to that, but y'all have seen it, and I trust y'all because y'all like literal Marvel heads. So, what's y'all early synopsis on the show Ironheart?
It's kind of
Um,
light. There is a multitude of directions. I think it is confusing if you're a Transformers fan and not a Marvel fan because of who's in it. Um, but if we're talking about substance and we're just talking about a good show to watch, I watched all three episodes at in the same day in one fell swoop. I didn't stop it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. There wasn't nothing else that I wanted to do that was more beneficial than that at the time. I was chilling. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next few episodes. But like Hood said, I am a Marvel head, so I'm partially biased a little bit. Like I watch Marvel movies that motherfuckers can't stand. So
like Thor 2.
love Thor 2. What are you talking about?
Which
What are you talking about? You're not talking about the one with Jeff Goldblum, right?
Which one?
the one with Jeff Goldblum is epic, nigga. That
That shit
shit
was
is
crazy.
hard, bro. When he go into that world, oh
Yeah,
man,
Yeah.
with
No,
the
I
nigga,
villain.
that
now it's a good
like
movie. I think the special effects was like
Suspect.
underwhelming.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of that dark world. Because of that dark
Yeah.
world the whole time. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think I
Yeah.
like that one because I watched Panic's breakdown like right after it,
Okay,
and
so you was already
Panic
had an eye for it.
elucidated. Panic elucidated a lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like the dark world was our world, and this fictitious light is the shit that's the illusion type shit. So
Uh-huh.
that's why I still
Uh-huh.
probably liked it because I watched Panic's breakdown right after. So again, I'm biased.
Yeah. I enjoyed the show as well. Riri Williams is her name. She born and raised in Chicago. She graduated high school at like no, graduated college at like 15. Was in MIT and extremely talented, like a certified genius. And she was able to create Um, Basically the exoskeleton suit, just like Tony Stark did. But it just happened to be a black girl from Chicago. And on this
Mhm.
podcast, we already know the mysticism dealing with Chicago. Um, Go do your homework. You
Mhm.
don't know. Um, and yeah, she just figured out a way. But
So is it set in Chicago or MIT?
yeah, it's set in Chicago. It starts off in
Okay.
MIT, but in the Wakanda Forever movie,
Mm-hmm.
Um, she was in there as well, but she was like in Wakanda working with Shuri. I believe that's T'Challa's
Yeah,
sister
sure.
name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and but she had to go back to her life after everything, and this is kind of like just her origin story a little bit. But she got a full blown Iron Man suit, Iron Heart suit, I guess for for the show. She got an Iron Heart suit. But I think it's interesting because right now she's in a state where like she don't really she don't really have a purpose. You know what I mean? She
Hmm.
don't know what her purpose is yet, but she's such a dynamic force and such like all these great attributes and things like that, but she don't know where to put them yet. And then she falls into a circle uh, of criminals,
Hmm.
and that's what I'll say without spoiling it for anybody who want to see
Mm-hmm.
it. It sucks or not. um,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to challenge the person in the chat to tell me what they watching right now versus this.
Mm-hmm.
or what they don't like about it.
Yeah, yeah. Like you can't just drop a statement like that. You know what I'm saying? It says, for me, confusing, criminalize that girl like a villain. Mixing magic and technology is not the Iron Man way. What?
I don't think it was magic in there.
What? Like
The hood,
that
the
person is
hood,
talking about the hood. They're talking about the hood,
the, yeah, the hood, yeah, that was magic. Not the hood mystic, but the
not the
hood.
hood mystic.
I don't know, man. Maybe they trying to play
It might
around
be.
with
It
Big Bro,
might
man.
be. I don't know.
These connections is kind of crazy that I'm making
Listen,
esoterically.
we know how
You know
to
what I
mix
mean?
it up,
Cause
bro.
they
Like they be
they
sending hood
straight,
signs, bro. So
yeah, cause they
we can
straight call
attest to
him,
it.
hey, yo, hood. I'm like, hold on,
I'm watching
bro.
that shit tonight, bro. I'm watching that
Hold
shit.
on, bro. But
That's crazy.
that villain, and yeah, I don't even want to spoil nothing. But in the comic
Mm-hmm.
books, I don't know if they're gonna have this on the show. That character ended up getting two Affinity Stones,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not really anyone's particular villain. He
No,
just
he
like,
dolo.
yeah, he just a villain. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I like the show overall. I think the name alone is pretty dope. It has a little bit of like a feminine Shango energy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And it's a lot of root chakra undertones in it to me. And then with her AI,
Not only root,
it's
but throat chakra too.
yeah, and with her AI, which was her friend. I'm not gonna spoil nothing. This show came out on the new moon in Gemini last week. It just lined up. It really, really lined up. But yeah, I ain't gonna spoil it.
Yeah, yeah. I think Hood is gonna like it, but he gonna get online and say it was bullshit. So
Mm-hmm.
I know how I know how to give it up.
If
I
I
know how
like
to give
it,
it up.
if I like it, I like it. I mean, I'm gonna just, I don't know. I know I'm gonna just go unbiased in that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested. You know what I'm saying? Because it
Watch
is
it.
crazy.
Roll up and
You know?
watch it as a fan first before you do the scientific.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna just watch it. I'm gonna just like
Yeah,
straight up watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just a person watching some shit. I'm not even going. I can't even break down the movie the first time I watch it. It's impossible. I
Yeah.
don't even try. I used to bring my notebooks and shit to the movie theaters. Now I'm just kind of just going. If I watch it the second time, I'll bring my notebook.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch it tonight. But what's interesting though, you know what I'm saying? We got Iron Mike Tyson, right, and Iron Heart, but it's like it's an interesting connection with his birthday and the time that we're living in right now. Like very, very, very interesting, man. And I wanted to just bring it to y'all attention real quick and then get how y'all feel about it. So this is Iron Mike's chart, and I don't want to confuse people. I'm gonna just fixate and focus on the 11th house and
That's
the
great.
Sun conjunct Jupiter and Gemini, right?
That's right now.
Yeah. And then I want us to look at the current transits.
A lot of
The
correspondence.
sun, the Sun conjunct Jupiter and Gemini.
Whoa.
And then I want to connect it to this and just say, like, did anything in that show remind you of like Prodigy energy, or just like when we think about Mike Tyson, man, that man is a god.
Prodigy. He was definitely
Yes.
a prodigy.
And in this show, she is a prodigy.
Yeah,
But
like
the
that's the
thing
basis
is,
of her
the
character.
same way Don King took advantage of him, she was taken advantage of because she didn't have any money, and she was coming from poverty, just like
That
Mike
was my
Tyson.
second point.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yup,
That
yup. But
shit lines up perfectly.
yeah, I can't wait till you watch the
That's
show.
crazy, bro. You did that on a whim, bro. Like we text for like 3 minutes, and the nigga just came up with Iron Mike and Ironheart. Like this is
So
crazy.
one thing that's crazy, my roommate when I was in college, his birthday is today too. And then when I found out that today was Mike Tyson's birthday, I cannot forget, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, that June 30th is his birthday. But then yeah, it's just synchronicities though. It's just synchronicities.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely in reference to this particular time and synchronicities and Mike Tyson and the energy of iron. I think part of this is like the union of Shango and Ogun, because Ogun rules iron.
Mm-hmm.
But like watching the show, right? It's like the show is like Iron Man is like Shango.
Mm-hmm.
He don't give Ogun.
Mm-hmm.
But what's
Mm-hmm.
interesting about do the Marvel have a Ogun character for real that you can say like
What was
maybe
Storm be? That'd be Yemen,
who
right? Storm would be Yemen, y'all, right?
Oh yeah, she was oh
or
yeah.
Oya
Oh yeah,
Oya.
brother. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Um
What would the
I was
Scarlet Witch be?
Ooh, I would say like that's a good one. If you ever hit to like the different paths of Oshun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't even. I gotta like actually reference it, but yeah, I'm gonna get the exact name. But I would think it would be like a witchy version of Oshun, like you know what I'm saying? Because the
mhm,
Orishas is not like that expansive. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
As Marvel characters would be, but
Good.
that's why I was like, who is signifying Ogun
Can I tell you?
versus like
Can I tell
a
you?
variety of Marvel characters that might even, and they might even have a character named Ogun in the Marvel comic books. I could probably guarantee it type shit.
Chat
Go ahead.
GPT, Chat GPT, first person they listed was Storm, and
Or Ogun.
yeah, and in parentheses it got Oro Monroe, Aurora Monroe. I guess that's the last person that played her, and then
Mm.
That's her name in the X-Men.
yeah, and then number
Mm.
two they got Riri Williams and Ironheart, and
Hmm.
number three it got Suri from Black Panther, and
For
number four,
Ogun.
yeah, and
That's crazy.
number four is Nakia from Black Panther.
Oh,
Remember the
chat
one that
GPT
left and
needs some
back?
updates, boy.
The one that had the baby.
Yeah. What you say?
What you said?
I said ChatGPT might need some updates, man.
Fact. Fact.
What
No,
is going
no, no, no,
on?
no, no, no. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Because I typed in Oshun. I ain't typing Ogun.
Okay,
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 okay.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's why I was like, they need to
Yeah,
relax with that. They're going crazy.
yeah, yeah. Damn, I was gonna say something in regards to Ogun. I feel like one character that's like Ogun is Doom.
Okay, okay. But
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not hip to him.
It just happens to be your nameplate, your faceplate, right?
No, but you know what's a crazy twist to that? Who's playing Doom?
Iron Man.
Iron Man, the original Iron Man.
Oh shit!
They
So
had to get it right and exact with the
yo,
ancestors.
bruh, and it's a comic. It's a comic where, so you know how how like as of lately they have a lot of different variant comics. Like, oh, in
Mhm.
this one, Captain America never took the serum, and the girl from Britain ended up becoming, the person that took it, and just all these different alternate worlds and stuff. There's one where Doctor Doom is poor and he switches his consciousness with Tony Stark. But Tony Stark goes on his life believing that he's Doom. You know what I mean? But the Doom only did that so that he can get access to funds and technology and stuff like that. It's usually something with like Doom and Iron Man where they ain't got the funds to support all the ideas they got. Like they got the knowledge, they can do it, but it's just they ain't got the money for it. But anyways, he changes his consciousness with Tony Stark, and long story short, Tony Stark kills Victor, which is Doom's real name. He kills him and then goes on his life believing that he's Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what they're gonna be referencing in these new movies with the new Doom. But that's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
Well, the first one they gave now Alpha Ogun was Riri. The second one they gave was Wolverine.
I
The
can see
third one they
Wolverine.
gave was Wolverine Logan. The fourth one they gave was T'Challa. And the fifth one they gave was Tony Stark. But I thought it was interesting that y'all brought up Tony Stark's plight in the Marvel universe, because watching the show, I won't spoil it, but thinking back to who was defeated in the first movie of Iron Man, that person's kid is running around with Riri in this one.
Obadiah. Obadiah Stane.
He was the first one to make an exoskeleton suit that mirrored Tony Stark's Iron Man suit.
So like to keep it into a realistic frame, because I feel as though like if they're gonna create a movie, they're gonna use real people as like symbols and archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you talk about Marvel, what are they doing a lot of times in their mythos? They're fighting, right? Now, in real life, if I was walking down the street in Times Square and it would be a fight, that would be like the police would come, meaning that that's not allowed in society. But in real life, you can fight as long as like the Las Vegas, Nevada Commission of Boxing
UFC.
allow you, UFC, you able to fight. So when you look at a Marvel character, are they fat, out of shape, or are they chiseled?
Always chiseled.
Okay. So when you look at an athlete, when you look at a boxer, when you look at a fighter, if you was to have a real life counterpart to the superhero out of the imagination of a mind versus the realism of what it would look like, wouldn't it be a boxer? And wouldn't an Avenger be a nigga that would knock niggas out, like, or then have a mind trick, like to intimidate a nigga before
Mm-hmm.
they even get into the ring? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like such and such had the superpower of intimidation and psychic powers to get inside of the bad guy's mind and take him over. Like, but don't they say this in reference to Mike Tyson? Don't you, do
Yep.
y'all get my train of thought of where I'm
Ye-
going with it?
yes. Yes, absolutely. Um, yeah, man. Cause my memories of Mike Tyson. I was born in '92. My mama worked for Cablevision back in the day, so we got all the pay per view shit. And I was a little kid. So all I remember is
Mhm.
falling asleep in front of the TV, my dad on the phone with his brothers, and him carrying me up to the bed. I'm like, damn, the fight over? He was like, yeah, man, I'm glad we ain't pay for that, your
Mhm.
mom
Mhm.
job. But as
Mhm.
a kid, I just knew him as somebody that just I'm not putting on the show. I'm trying to, you know, knock you out, and he knocked people out in
I
30
grew up
seconds.
in that town. So um all of my memories of Mike were menacing. The first thing I remember was he was a kid that used to have to sleep in abandoned parked cars in the projects. His mom's had a revolving door. Men, drug dealers, you name it. And she would single him out and beat the shit out of him because he was there, type shit. No other reason, but just him being there. And I remember hearing about the story of when he decided to fight. It was after losing a shit ton of fucking fights in the neighborhood, bullies beating him up every time they saw him. He got to a point where he found a sanctuary on the roof of his project building with pigeons. And so he built a little pigeon coop, and every day he would just be up there raising his pigeons. He didn't want nothing to do with the rest of life because, as I just described, that shit was harsh, like really harsh. But he found his sanctuary in raising pigeons and fighting. And that's what I remember about Mike Tyson. And the first time I got cable in the projects, it was that little ass HBO box, and it was to watch a Mike Tyson fight.
I think like as far as black people coming together, there has never been a unifying force as strong as Mike Tyson. I've never seen anything like it in reference to a Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
I've know it's boxers and boxing fights all the time, and some of them is big deals, but nothing ever was Mike Tyson
Nothing.
ever. You know what I'm saying? So I say all of that to say in reference to the portal that we're in,
He bit
like
somebody's ear off, bro.
like in real time. Like niggas was watching that shit in real time. But see, that was the art of like spectacle at that point. Like
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he couldn't fight as well, he still it didn't matter. Like you still was
Hmm.
pulling up to a Mike Tyson fight for
Hmm.
hmm Like
forever, you know?
I remember watching the press conference where he told another nigga, "I will eat your kids." Like,
Yeah,
bro,
that's
Mhm.
a crazy, crazy statement in today's world.
yo, talk about I ain't never heard no shit like that. Yo, the nigga said, "I will eat your kids." Like,
He said, I want his heart. All praises due to Allah.
Rahim, like he went straight into the fucking, like he went straight into the Islamic like calling, like he went straight into it after he told him he would eat his kids like that. Yeah, he was definitely one of those things where everything stopped when he was around, just people were watching. Like,
Mhm. I feel like, that energy for which the portal that he came through, Jupiter conjunct the sun, in the space of Gemini, like, this person, if you want to talk about like mental health and like having, going to prison, getting out of prison, like, then like talking about psychedelics and all of this type of stuff, like the first person that was like on the weed thing real heavy, like for mental health purposes, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
he had become like the people's champ and an advocate for the people. And like his son is in the 11th house, like my son is in the 11th house. But like, what does he have now? He have a podcast, that's very 11th houseian, right?
It's,
Like he's
Mm-hmm.
always in that
it's definitely.
communicative space.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a sign of the times too, right now, right? Like even
Hmm.
your most sought after stars are fucking doing podcasts on TikTok right
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, people, there's only so much singing and dancing you can do with a person, but I think where we losing it right now with that thought space is that we stopped educating people, and that was the purpose of the podcast in the first place. It wasn't just to entertain and talk about random shit or have debates on, should men and women go 50-50. Even though it's very intriguing, I feel like we need to recenter what content is and what it could be used for,
now. Mm-hmm.
and propel people forward, because we went through a whole 4 to 5 years everybody scamming you. Now everybody is just like, Joe Button,
Yeah,
making $900,000 a month just to talk shit for 3 hours or some shit. They not teaching nothing,
they not
right?
teaching. They not teaching shit. Yeah, my man said that to me yesterday. He's like, I don't get this whole Joe Budden shit, yo. Like they never finish conversations. And I said that's
Damn.
that's the entire point of the show. It has nothing to do with ethics or morals or reason. No, the niche is to purport like as if you care about those things, but get the laughs along the way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not about um any constructive conversations really necessarily being had. That shit is about a bunch of grown ass people trolling each other on live TV
Mm-hmm.
because they literally just pick on Melissa and Imani and Queen's Flip and the easy people to pick on. You know what I'm saying? They pick on them.
Mhm.
Um, I think Mike having where his Mars is at in the 10th house, he's known for his capacity to be brutal. You know what I mean? And I would say like Mars in the 10th house is like some type of someone that's in contact sports and very successful in it. Um,
Is there psychopathy there?
What you mean?
Like social is there sociopathic tendencies there?
hmm.
I think anything in Gemini is the capability to um have mental disturbance. I
Hmm.
think it's a highly volatile area. And then like how you process growing up, like say for instance you had a brother and a sister and you're a Gemini, a lot of your psychology or personality is based on how good your parents treated your sister or brother.
Okay.
Like this is your makeup for real. But
In
when you think of
retrospect,
it in a
in retrospect to how you would treat it, right?
right, but then when you think of it in retrospect, who actually gives a fuck, right? But
Yeah.
but the mental aspects of foundational upbringing, which a lot of it has to do in Gemini, that's where people get the rap like, Geminis is crazy because they
Hmm.
not like it's a way to process life and truth. And the more that, we live in this world and you get fed false ideas, what that going to do is going to create mental instability.
Hmm.
And, it's a lot of drug usage going on based upon.
Yeah,
Based upon
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
guess I was asking because I think there he has I know he has the capacity for empathy, but I also know that he also has the ability to turn that off. You know what I mean? Because the way in which the the intensity and the veracity, right? The ferociousness of his approach, his execution, he has to be able to turn empathy off.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean, shit. Well,
I think he learned how to like channel it. You know, he just end up because I think a lot of people with the sign Gemini, like to the point, they have one of their parents is just just so hard on them. You know what I mean? To the point where, and I know more sidereal slash tropical sidereal Gemini slash tropical cancers than any other sign. Like
Mm.
I probably know about 10. You know what I mean? And it's all of them have a particular upbringing that for one makes them very caring people. You know what I mean? Very empathetic people, but it just depends on
It's the
the I'm trying to think of the right word, the vibration at which they dealt with trauma and their upbringing. Because
okay.
some of them are doing some really great things in this world, and some of them um, got some shit bubbling up. You know what I mean? Like the people with this sign in my life, these are the people that I know that made the most money. I know of like friends. You know what I mean? Like golly, bro, you making that? Like that's how you living? Like, and then some of them like, but all of them got a story with their parents. And I think with this sign is but not to say that you can't make something beautiful out of a hard childhood, but is very extreme with it. You know what I mean? But I think these people are more or less um, successful with whatever they make their mind up and their heart up about what they're gonna do. Because all of them are successful to a degree. It just what the alchemy looking like, you know what I mean? Because it is opposed Sagittarius.
Which one did they
Um,
get into type shit?
yeah. But I think, his moon in the fourth house is interesting in the six, what's that? Six of Cups, second deacon of Scorpio. Um, it was difficult at home, you know what I mean? It shit, he probably felt like it was non-existent to
Yeah.
this day,
Yeah, I think that's why he created the pigeon coop.
Yeah,
Like he was like 8 years old with his own pigeon coop on the roof.
damn, it might he experiencing what this is his second Saturn return too.
Like
Mhm.
when I heard he used to sleep in abandoned parked cars, yo, that shit broke my heart. I was like, wow, bro. Your
Yeah, you can
mom just
imagine.
upstairs in the fucking crib. You sleeping in an abandoned parked car because it's probably more peaceful there.
Yeah, more safe there. Yeah.
But the one thing about Mike got that moon in Scorpio, plus he got Lilith in the seventh house, in Aquarius, ruled by the 11th house. So, the man got hoes. So, probably got more pussy than we could imagine in a lifetime
Yeah, he
of
got
life.
Will Chamberlain style pussy.
Like, I'm talking numbers on the board, guys.
Hmm.
So, I'm just saying, like, don't
Mhm.
cry for Mike Tyson so much,
Yeah, don't cry for me, Argentina type.
For real.
Yeah.
For real, man.
I will
No,
My
point
his
boy put some points on the board.
I will
Believe me.
point to a small thing from the show that parallels with that, and it's a slight spoiler alert, but her home life was fucked up too, but not for the same kinds of reasons. But there's an immense amount of trauma that you can connect or correlate with her genius,
Mm.
so to speak. So not necessarily her genius, but her drive behind, expanding her genius type shit.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Her drive to actually figure it out, how to harness it. Yeah.
So it's
Um,
a parallel to Mike on that.
I think the Venus in the 10th house, right next to Mars is interesting too. I think he had peace, I think his chart really looks like someone who,
Been through it all type shit.
yeah, but like his adulthood is the highlight of his life. You know what I mean? Some people,
Hmm.
their
Hmm.
childhood was, man, those was the wonder years. You know what I mean?
And didn't he have a pigeon TV show at one point too?
I do remember that meme where he had those two doves and he was telling them now kiss.
Yeah,
And
he had a TV show about pigeons.
I also think Jamie Foxx was supposed to do a documentary.
He did the
Like they
uh
planned
he did
him
the live he
for
did the
Bible
live
Pitt.
action movie. He did the live action movie. He did one of them. He did one and Michael J. White did one.
About Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the one with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, I think I want to say HBO maybe.
Mm.
But yeah, this one with Michael J. White and this one with Jamie Foxx.
And check out the North Node conjunct Midhaven, where he has an evolving storyline as well. And that's a very auspicious placement for your North Node to be at in the Midhaven. So,
Hmm.
like, if that's a part of somebody's chart, like you're looking at your kids' chart or your friend's chart, if North Node is conjunct your Midhaven, please believe me when I say you can be something with your motherfucking life, okay? Like you going places, like you look at your chart, check out your North Node. If it's anywhere in the vicinity of your 10th house or ninth house, this is career success. And so you should not necessarily prioritize it over important things, but definitely over some lame shit. Like prioritize it. Like love and family and all that. Like take care of
What
that. But
what if your South
ma-
Node is in your ninth house by your midhaven?
see, that's another level of the game, man. So, like this, like imagine, I'm gonna put it to you like this: imagine Mike Tyson just got a good ass job at a factory and never became Iron Mike Tyson. He would have
Mm.
not fulfilled his destiny or his dharma. Now, if it's reverse, nigga, like it's like I could be with the kids, we in our van, you know what I'm saying? Like we just regular as fuck. But I know I'm in my dharma. Like I got talent. Like I could like I'm just giving an example. Like I got talent. I could have probably dedicated my life to music or dedicated my life to being famous, but I just chilled. It was a
Mm.
family man.
Mm.
That's your dharma.
Mm.
But don't try to like, because what would that put? That would put um, your north node in your third house or relative to your fourth house, where sometimes the best thing to do is hold your house down. That ain't an unfulfilled life. Because guess how niggas die? Famous niggas die. Broke niggas die. Rich niggas die.
There's
Poor
no
niggas
explanation.
die. Fat niggas die. Black people die. White people die. Chinese people die. It all goes. So how
Mm.
you live it in this bitch is inconsequential in reference to your specific spiritual dharma that's going to bring you a certain level of peace. And when you studying your chart, like it's fun to look at full moons and North Node conjunct mid havens to celebrities. this is a rare occurrence in the chart, though. The same way as Mike Tyson being the person that he is, rare. But at the same time, study your chart and figure out like the little kind of like intricate pieces to your chart that kind of
Nuances.
stand out, like in your 10th, 11th, and ninth houses. So it could be like you was already famous in a past life. You ain't come
Hmm.
here to do that in this life. You
Mm.
came here to be a city council member or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah. Do social work or some
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Nah,
or a counselor, you know what I'm saying? Something to that effect.
Yeah, you're right.
I asked that.
Jamie Foxx didn't play. It was Trevante Rhodes who did one on Hulu, and Michael J. White who did one on HBO. Mike,
Okay. And
it
I
was,
think it's one that's in like the works with
yeah,
Jamie
Michael J.
Foxx.
White was in '95, and Trevante Rhodes did one in 2022 on Hulu. But that one was denounced by Tyson because it was made without his consent.
Mm.
So don't know how accurate they were with their portrayals and shit.
I asked about the South Node, in the ninth house by the Midhaven because that's a placement I have, and I always have that internal dialogue of like, well, shit, I could just, you know, uh, have a life like a sitcom, you know what I mean, or I can do something that you know I haven't imagined, you know what I mean, with my life. It could be a little bit more unpredictable in a positive way, you know. So I just think that's interesting though. I think that's real interesting.
Utilizing a north node in the third house is practicing intentional speech. That is your dharma.
Hmm.
Like you only can heal with your words. You can
Hmm.
only like you might want to cuss a bitch out sometimes, but you can't. Like you be in your mind, you like I should, but
I
you
have
like
and I have the
that's
right words
hurtful.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know that's hurtful. That's going to break her spirit, and you don't want to do that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you won't because your mouth can only be used, your communication can be only used to uplift. But this is Dharma is not always like good in a space where everybody, like, say for instance, if your North Node or South Node is opposed Mars, which would be crazy, right? Because that's a motherfucker punching you. And you like, my Dharma say I can't even punch your ass back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I can't go down that road with you, but I know I want to, but I can't because the thing about spiritual beings is when you steal something for 5 cents, you get 5 years in jail. You like, damn, how the fuck I end up in jail for so long? Because you wasn't supposed to steal nothing.
Nah, that's crazy. Because with my South Node in the third house in Sagittarius, or my North Node in the third house in Sagittarius, I had a real ill thought about like, man, maybe I should just start giving readings based around relationships. You know what I mean? Start like, is he cheating on you? Do your ex still think about you? And just use the chaos for my own financial gain. You know what I mean? And turn Tarot into like some Jerry Springer shit,
Hmm. Hmm.
do live readings for like 500 a pop, just because I
Hmm.
know it'd be sensational and I know it's
Hmm.
a place for that, you know what I mean? But like you saying, like I if I do that, I'll be I will get in trouble. I'll be in trouble.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I put in
Karmically,
too much work, yeah, to know better. You know what I mean?
hmm,
Like I can't even
I
I ain't
was
ignorant enough. Like I know too much to try to finesse spirit in that way.
I was given a list that matches Tyson's archetype. Tell me what y'all think of this list. Uh, DMX, Kanye West, Russell Brand, 50 Cent, and Lauren Hill.
Lauren Hill is interesting.
Yeah, it's listed as female Ogun.
hmm,
What you think, Hood?
hmm. I'm thinking I would, and this is for Iron Mike Tyson.
Russell Brand, but I know about the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about Russell Brand.
I would say DMX for sure and 50 Cent.
it's like it's like niggas that play in the NBA, right? They all good, right? They
Mhm.
all can whoop your ass in
I'll give you
21.
30 a night.
Yeah, but like
Is how you get
when
that.
it, but like no, it's like it's a different level of like Michael Jordan and fucking everybody else, and it's
Fact.
like Mike Tyson. Like I can't compare his stardom to a rapper. Cause
Right.
I ain't never seen no rapper get a whole bunch of niggas together at the house. Grandmas, grandpas, just food, chicken wings, talking about let's listen to this Jay-Z as a family. I
Yeah,
got it on pay-per-view.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
Your
Everybody,
grandma like, turn on that DMX, baby. Ruff, ruff. Like, it never happened.
but everybody did kind of stop to watch Power, right? 50 Cent.
I still haven't watched that episode, but I get you. I get you. I
Everybody
get
loved
you.
in the club. Everybody loved in the club with 50 Cent. Like that album did go crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah, true, true, true. And it's like, yeah, but 50 Cent though, we all can agree, he's not the personality that you want to love and wrap your arms around like
Facts.
you would to Mike Tyson
Facts.
and
Hmm.
unite people and bring people together in a way that Mike Tyson could by being great.
Mhm.
I dare 50 Cent to put out a CD right now.
Facts. Facts. I think if we put out a posthumous DMX album, that shit'll go better than 50 Cents would right now.
It's just, I mean, it's just a whole thing of like music to whereas like we have to really reflect and get to a space where we promoting greatness for real, like Deion Sanders and Mike. Like we, like I grew up in the '90s and shit, and we seen greatness and unstoppable forces. To whereas like nowadays, like niggas will hear a CD for a day or two,
Yeah, you're right. You skipping
watch
over.
a movie for it's oversaturated, and we can't differentiate greatness from average motherfuckers. So it's like, and I'm not saying DMX or 50 Cent is average. I'm just saying like
In comparison to Mike, you kind of are.
this nigga was amazing, dog. Like
Yeah,
I can't stress it enough. Like
he's the rose that grew from the concrete.
yeah, like he let you know that spirituality is real because he didn't ever stand a chance. And once he got a chance, he had the white boy fucking him over, and he had Don King fucking him over
Yep.
the whole time.
Old
And
time.
then when he tried to get some sense in the situation, they hit him with a charge that wasn't real. I'm not gonna say what the charge was, but
Oh, we all know what it was. He went to jail for it.
any common sense will say, man, he ain't deserved to go to jail for that. But yet and still he did go to jail for that because the stereotype of the black male
What
of
about
of a
what about Kobe?
what you mean?
Kobe in reference to Mike. See, I don't know enough about Kobe's childhood. All I know is he was born in Italy and grew up with his dad over there. Like, I don't remember hearing about any childhood trauma with Kobe. I'm just thinking about the arc.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, once again, he didn't grow up in the states, so we got a different. Kobe is not, for lack of better words, a nigga.
Yeah,
He was
Kobe is
raised in Italy
that's
and
not.
prepared to be an NBA player.
Mhm. Yeah, because he dead ass turned himself into Michael 2.0.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. How the fuck you win three championships in a row? Like
Twice,
twice,
twice. Not
like
not
year after year. Now you see these niggas going down with ACL injuries every
Oh, that's
season
another
now.
thing, another talk for another show. But my guy JT and all them dudes that went down with their Achilles, you know, three of
Hmm.
those dudes wore number zero.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Halliburton, Halliburton, the Baltimore boy,
Lillard, Lillard.
and Tatum. But there was something like 11 Achilles tears this year. They said it was.
Yeah, I mean, I get anxiety watching basketball now. Even when my kids play it, I get real anxious because I just be like when I see Wimbiana play, I don't want to watch him play and run up and down because I know it's gonna be one wrong movement, bro. That shit's
Yo,
like, bro, I can't.
I saw the Paul George game, bro. I did not recover
Yeah,
well from that, bro.
yeah, that's
I did not recover well. And then I watched it on my own team when Gordon Hayward, first fucking game of the season, what,
yeah.
4 years ago after we
Versus the Cavaliers,
very first fucking game, bro.
first quarter.
Oh man, I didn't
But
recover well from either one of those. But then again, I'm also a nigga who grew up watching LT destroy niggas. Like that shit, it's yes, but I agree with you, bro. When you watching a real linky nigga like on the court, you get scared, bro. Every time he come down, you just like, like
I don't want to watch this shit.
right?
I don't be wanting to watch that shit no more, man. I promise you, I don't. That shit's not
That shit
fun.
traumatizing, nigga.
It's like gladiator school or some shit like that. It's
You
like,
see a nigga leg turn to paper, my nigga. That is different.
yeah, man. But it's interesting though when we have like these sports stars in reference to the fact that they are walking gods among us. If you ever seen an athlete in real life, that nigga is fucking godlike.
Mhm.
Imagine being in a jungle and seeing a nigga 6'8", butt naked, swinging dick around the village. Like, what the fuck you gonna do? Yeah,
Listen, listen,
I'm 5'11".
you think you a real man until you stand next to one of these niggas and just be like,
Yeah,
what the fuck am I here for?
yeah. Shit is fucking crazy.
Yo, I shit you not. I stood next to Anthony Mason, my nigga. Never
Mhm.
again. Like, I don't want to see nobody that big, bro. This nigga was 6'5", 270, all muscle. Bro, I'm good. I'm good. Those is different human beings. They different human beings, man.
Talking
You can't
about
tell
welcome to my
me,
village. Like, wait, bro, come
you
on, man,
can't tell me giants didn't exist. You can't.
come on,
Shoot.
man.
No. Hey, back in the day, they had poison arrows, though. I could make them flatten. Stab them up. Nah, let me stop.
Yeah, definitely was ways to get the niggas down to your level because I mean, mentally though, like I feel like, damn, what if we just view shit based upon like a hierarchy? Like if you 6'8", that make you a leader. You know what I'm saying? Versus like, because what do we have now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the system of hierarchy? Like, how do we determine? Like in Wakanda Forever, where what I'm saying, he had to beat T'Challa's ass before he
Every
became the
time in
king.
order for him to keep his crown.
Right. Right.
We
Yeah.
don't have that. We don't have a rites of passage set up for any of this. This goes
Mhm.
by whomever is the most popular, whoever's the most popular, and whoever makes the most money.
Or
That's what
more
this
so, we go by masons and bloodlines
and
Man, you ain't
who
lying.
they
and the
You
truth
ain't
of
lying.
who niggas really are. You know what I mean? Who Negroes
Mhm.
really are.
You ain't never
Yeah,
lied.
niggas that's holding that information, yeah, those are the niggas that's in charge.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. I feel like we did an extraordinary job, man. You know, just breaking down a little Moonday, kind of like like I feel like there's a connection between Ironheart, Iron Man, Iron Mike Tyson, and just the energy that is like present in reference to like Jupiter conjunct the sun. Like that's a powerful resonant of energy as a current that you can tap into. To whereas like so say for instance, you don't have to deal with the shit that Mike Tyson needed to deal with, or maybe it's a correlation between like Iron Man where this nigga got all of the resources and all of the money. Like this is the sun conjunct Jupiter and this is a current to whereas maybe you don't have all the resources today, but you can set an intention and Jupiter rules the year. Like really see yourself. That's how I feel about the energy, and I want y'all to like give y'all input about the energy. Like really set your intention for this next year without any limits.
Mm,
Don't think about it like, well, I'm only gonna have $500 to spend, and I gotta pay rent, so that'll be 500 more. Like, imagine it like Tony Stark's would.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. But what do
like you
y'all think?
like you just
Yeah.
working with like you just working with an abundance, like a
Exactly.
abundance, and there's nothing you can't do.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, I really like that because these correlations mashed up together got me thinking about AI and how now we have people who wouldn't otherwise necessarily be in position to making money and changing their lives. Now, with the addition and the help of AI, a lot of people are changing their financial situation. And so it has me thinking about that, but it also, what you said in the beginning with the imprinting, you also brought that up earlier with the Akether video. And just the idea of being able to imprint the seed, I think that's a beautiful concept. So like I think it all fits. And like if you thought that everything that you couldn't possibly bring into fruition wasn't possible unless you had help, and then you find out that you can get technical help from someone and half of your fucking work will be cut. Um, I think the possibilities are endless because if you can eliminate the everyday rigmarole shit that you have to do and apply that to your AI, and now you have this much more time to do what it is that you really want to do, I think the sky is the limit. Or rather, the sky is just a view, it's not the limit.
Yeah. Um, with the Sun conjunct Jupiter specifically, I think it just speaks to you having everything that's necessary, but fixating on what you don't have can be magnified. It's like whatever you feeling or however you thinking is going to be magnified. And I think if you because you can be extremely optimistic with this and things will turn out fabulous, I think. Or because it's like it's Zeus on the top of Mount Olympus. You know what I mean? Like I ain't really worrying about shit. You know what I mean? Like anything I need, I got it. You know what I mean? Or it can be all the guys turned on Zeus. You know what I mean? Type shit. And now he at the top of Mount Olympus, mad as hell throwing thunderbolts. I think you can either, um, really, really chill, or you can get in a place of being angry and destructive. Also, with it being like mental, Gemini being mental, it just deals a lot with like that self talk. Um, I would even go as far as say like that self image that you have of yourself, because you can be a great person, but you just don't see it. You really don't see how great of a being that you are. You're really not aware of the gifts that you have, or even just the flat out blessings that you have, because you choose to expand on the negative shit, or choose to expand on what you don't have, or you know what I mean. You may feel like, damn man, I just found my calling in my early 30s, but you like, well, when I was 12, I was telling my mom I wanted to be a architect. You know what I mean? But like, nigga, you got the time
Yeah,
to do it
about
now.
your trauma and shit.
Yeah, like, but you got the time right now. So I think Jupiter to me is also like, man, well, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I accept it. It happened, and you look at it as more so as fertilizer.
Mm,
It's really looking at what works instead of what's wrong or what's right. If it works, you work with it. You know what I mean? If it don't work, discard it and use what you have at your disposal to the fullest. Like, don't waste no part of yourself. Use all of that shit. You know what I mean? You can put your trauma to use, just like you can put,
you just
you know,
can't be trauma informed.
yeah, you can't reference your life from it because yeah, that's not the seed of your existence. That's a mere experience. But I do have the let me see if I can share the
Now, when
screen.
you said when you said Zeus, big homie, were you referring to Liam Neeson Zeus or Russell Crowe Zeus?
I was referring to the Zeus and the Hercules movie.
Because that nigga Russell Crowe has got to be the worst Zeus ever. But I mean, he was right on par, like with that funny looking shit, that homo shit. Like he was right on with that. Like that nigga showed up in a skirt, I lost it, bro. Like,
Damn.
Who? Russell Crowe?
that might have been the worst thought. The joke with Christian Bale, I think that was the worst thought. The last one,
I didn't see that one.
the one with his daughter.
Oh, you talking about the Love and Thunder, the fourth Thor movie? Yeah, 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 yeah. He was playing. Yeah, they had Zeus in there. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
Russell Crowe in a skirt. Like, come on, bro. What are we doing here?
And he was chubby.
And he was overweight.
But that was playing on Zeus. You know what I mean? Like he was. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
He was
Like
a little saucy.
little bit of being the king is like you got weight because you have access to all the luxuries of life. But I just wanted to go through the moon tracker chart real quick for this week. Today is Monday, so the moon is in Leo. Um, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday it'll be in Virgo. Friday, Saturday it'll be in Libra, and then it'll finish out in Scorpio. Um, and so what I've been doing with the keywords from just doing these videos, been getting ideas, is that I'll take the major arcana that correspond with the zodiac, which is for Leo is the lust card, the hermit for Virgo, justice for Libra, and then death for Scorpio. And then I'll give my definition of all of those, and then I will define the tarot cards that correspond with it. Now you might have to rewind this and go back to it because it is a lot at once, but it's simple. You just taking piece by piece and you putting it all together to make sense out of it. Um, so if we just look at the keywords, uh, this week is going to look like victory, revelation, prudence, gain, wealth, peace, sorrow, truth, and disappointment. Um, and then just translating all these keywords that I put together. Um, so I've been challenging myself to come up with different ways to explain things or just have my own words for things. Because I think once you get to do that, is more of a connection. It's more of a mind connection to what you're studying. You know, um, shit. I'll say find some ancient Native American words for God. You know what I mean? Or Um, just use different words for it, or just make up your own shit. Because I think it'll help you with your intuition. It'll help you with your imagination. You know what I mean? It'll help you um, put energy back into that childlike ability to imagine things and to, you know, let your imagination lead you and to give you answers. You know, when you don't know what to do. Um, because that I think that's the game right there. That's some game right there. But anyways, translating my own words instead of saying semen retention. Oh, that's why I even said that. All that shit. Um, I'm starting to say electric retention because it is electric fire, and you know, it's a very special gift that your body can even create this for men, and then for women, it's their menstrual blood. But I'll read this and stop rambling. Electric retention is the charging of oneself spiritually. It takes a slow and careful, meticulous, thought out plan as to how one's electricity will be utilized. Your results are directly related to how well you see God within you. So with that being said, when you're cultivating your energy, you're not wasting it on the material world and just chasing after validation from the outside world. You're able to literally charge up. You're not dispelling your energy, you're going to charge up. It's like we're batteries that are capable of charging itself. But yes, we do have to ground our energy. Yes, we do have to be out in the sun and deal with things that help us balance our electricity, so we don't spontaneous combust, right? um, and once you do cultivate your energy, it kind of makes me think about Ironheart. It's kind of like I have all this greatness. I'm a genius. I know what my gifts are, but where do I apply them? You know, how do I make it a difference with them? Um, and that's what's going to take the meditation. That's what's going to take, you know, the the time of just sitting with yourself, expanding your consciousness so that you can have a greater view on the splendor of what God is, um, and where God is, which is, you know, within you, in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. Um, and then the second part I have, when we have breakthroughs, including challenges, it disturbs our peace, which causes us to continue to grow as a spiritual being. Most challenges require a full lifestyle change in order to accept the blessings and to furthermore see our blessings as blessings. Um, I will also say the initial experience that we get from transformation, making, you know, a real lifestyle change, is the longing for like that old self. Um, and this whole translation is based off of the keywords. Just want to reiterate that. But we got to begin to look at challenges as breakthroughs, as an opportunity to expand our consciousness, as an opportunity to upgrade ourselves. Um, because it's only in our way in order to bring out more of who we are to the surface. Um, it's no reason to be angry when you're being challenged. We need challenge is necessary, like that. Um, and a lot of times, you know, we know what change we have to make, you know, and sometimes it's a permanent lifestyle change. It could be something that we picked up from friends or family, or just something that we've done since we were children, and we may need to bring it into it. And that's that permanent lifestyle change. That speaks to Libra. That speaks to adjustment. Because once we do find purpose, once we do know where we're headed, it's going to take some adjustment. It's going to take some justice, uh, balancing of the scales, balancing of the heart and the mind, in order to fully embrace death or transformation. And is not is not necessarily a beautiful thing because once you do make that life change, you do make that big leap, chances are you're going to start out alone until you find your true tribe, you know, because that previous tribe is that tribe that's still on that same shit, you know what I mean, that old shit that didn't really even bring you any happiness, you know what I mean, like we've all had moments where we was out with friends or just doing something where it's like, bro, like I don't even know why I'm here, or why am I even in this space, or why I'm even watching this, like this
I
don't
don't,
bring me no
I
happiness.
don't
It's not
even
serving me no more. You know what I mean?
like my lifestyle for
That
real.
that's where that permanent life change is needed. Um,
When you have that epiphany,
yeah, when you have that epiphany, and I would say that's the Libra energy, the adjustment, and then it takes you on to the transformation. But this is just a part of the zodiac wheel. Um, but yeah, no, that's the report for this week. Um, do y'all have any comments about it or ideas about it?
I was going to say you touched on something really powerful and a really good book that I found that kind of correlates with today's message for Moonday is Ryan Holiday's The Obstacle is the Way. Um, it's a phenomenal book, and it just speaks to the realities that you elucidated to earlier, where um, you may get discouraged, and you may feel like state is coming on because you're changing everything that you normally used to do. And the first sign of something going wrong or something not falling in place the way that you wanted it to, or the way that it was quote unquote supposed to, 9 times out of 10 pushes people back into the thing that they're hurting from. So, like, if we can bring ourselves to a point of acknowledging that obstacles are necessary, obstacles absolutely exist. And in order for me to grow, I have to experience these obstacles at some point or another. If growth is one of your things, right? Like if this
Mhm.
is not one of your things, then yeah, for shits and giggles, you could just stay it and do what you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to change your situation as well, mindset has to go along with that. And I think that yeah, the obstacle is the way is perfect for what you're talking
Yeah, no, and I think what you're speaking to, like once you do meet obstacles, that would be like the hermit never making an adjustment. You know, it's like with these four major arcana cards, you come to terms with your power, and then that hermit stage is almost like perfect. It's like Lion King, Simba. You know what I mean? And the three deacons of Leo. The first is like conflict or like worry, which would
about.
be like Mufasa transitioning. Victory is him actually getting away with Timon and Pumbaa and chilling and stuff. And then the Seven of Wands would be the revelation, like, oh shit, I gotta go back to Pride Rock. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually a king, you know. Um, and through that he has that hermit stage, you know, but you know, fast forwarded to the end of the movie, you know, he had to take his place, you know, because imagine if the Lion King just ended with Simba like, oh, I'm gonna just hang out with this meerkat and this warhog, where you literally a bloodline, like you a king, like rightful, you know,
You
like
out here crawling with the peasants and shit.
yeah, and but just think about like how salty he was that he had to leave that, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? But it was for the greater good, you know, because after the Five of Cups, the second deacon of Scorpio is, I want to say pleasure, like pleasure or like happiness or something like that in the realms of that. It's a six, which six
Or the
is
Six
usually
of Cups.
yeah,
Yeah, pleasure.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. No, what I take from it is just more of what y'all was saying, just like just personally, little idiom, real quick. Pressure make diamonds, man. This is an idiom or proverb that means experiencing hardship or difficulty can lead to strength, resilience, and even success.
Hmm.
So the general consensus is if my life was easy, I was good. But now that I had some trauma, my shit over with. I need to check out and start over again. I hate
Hmm.
this earth. I hate this place because shit is going
Hmm.
bad for me. I want to give up. You know what I mean? But it's like, come
Hmm.
on, pressure make diamonds. But you know, if you experience in pressure, or if you experience some type of like hardship, whatever, like me and Rob was talking about earlier before the live, like the shit that's always going to grind my gears, if because I'm not ever trying to read a nigga's mind. If you going through some shit and you don't say, "Hey, hood, hey, I'm blah 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 blah," you know what I'm saying? And I might say, "Nigga, that's too deep. I ain't never heard of no shit like that." Go to a motherfucking doctor,
Niggas
right?
throw my head.
Throw my hands up. But at least you should get used to asking motherfuckers for help. Because
Yeah,
guess what? Can't nobody do it by themselves, and you just might never know.
yeah. And the closed mouth don't get fed.
You might not ever know. You know how many times I asked a nigga, "Hey, you think you could sell me that?" And they be like, "Sure, nigga." You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, "Damn, I would have been hungry today if I ain't just open my mouth and just say, hey,
Facts.
what's the ticket on that?
Hmm.
You
That's
fucking with me? Oh, cool." You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you go. Feeling good as a motherfucker just because I wasn't afraid. You know what I'm saying? But shit, everybody got their story.
and there's something to be said about, you know, that's an idiom that I was brought up on. A rose that grew from the concrete. There's something about that, you know, the harshest conditions still is able to produce some of the most extraordinary shit you've ever seen. And I think about that when I think about people like a Mike Tyson. Like he literally came from the concrete and turned
Hmm.
into a king. Like he was the top of his craft at 17 years old. Like better than everybody in the world at 17 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And not only better, most of the motherfuckers were scared of him. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just think about the idea that you already intimidated before you even get in the ring with me. And don't let me put on a DMX song to come out to. It's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already lost at the intro type shit. But I just like that idea. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful concept because I think about so many people that came from the worst of conditions and turned that shit into, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
There's something to be said about that.
Hmm. Cause like, what does it look like when you suppress all that shit and you still find some type of success?
Yeah.
You know,
Because
you end up being that person.
like when you suppress all that shit and you don't find that success, you talking about 75% of the niggas in jail right now.
Yeah, yeah. You'll be that person that looks great on Instagram, but you know your real life you doing
Yeah,
bad. You
yeah,
know, you got some type of image that everybody is striving for themselves, whereas you just You just want to be a little kid again. You know what I mean? Where
This
before all
is
the travel happened, and shit.
this is another thing that came up in our pregame. Me and Hood was talking, just thinking about that idea of um, knowing that you need a thing and not asking for that thing, and then the reasoning being totally based around your ego is crazy to me. But I think we all could probably point to instances in our lives where we've done exactly that. But honestly, if you call me family, you need to treat this relationship as such. Can't be family just when you feel good.
Yeah, man. Feel like we got a good show out, man. What y'all think?
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
I appreciate y'all, brothers. Make my Monday night easy.
For sure, man. I'm about to get into this Ironheart, my boys. I have a breakdown. I'm saying full breakdown in the morning now.
Give me a text, nigga.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We gonna talk about this a little later, all right, fam?
Peace, Kings.
For sure.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective.